Hispanic church communities very hard. Combined, a Roman Catholic church in Queens and a Lutheran church in Manhattan lost more than 100 members. Now, these are communities where there is a lack of access to health care and many are exposed to high-risk jobs. So joining me now is Regional Bishop of the Metropolitan, New York, Synod of Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, Reverend Paul Egnsteiner. Thank you for being with us.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so I'm sure it is a very hard time for you and your members as we talked about the numbers. Can you tell us what church members are experiencing so we can understand better how this is really affecting those members?
There's the level of death that causes so much grief for members of the congregation. This congregation in particular has lost, of last count, 44 members to the virus. But in addition to that, there's the number of other members who have also had the virus, plus the loss of income from inability to work, and the threat of, in some cases, members losing their homes, and many of these members are undocumented, so that just increases the stress and anxiety that they're feeling on a daily basis.
There are different layers to this, all of it very painful. How are you trying to pull that back and help individuals?
So we're doing a lot of things. We're trying to, first of all, meet basic needs. So we have lots of feeding ministries that are reaching out to members of these congregations. Our pastor, Pastor Fabian Arias of that Latinx congregation, is continuing to be present in a safe way to provide pastoral care, to conduct funerals for members of the congregation. We're providing resources not only from our own local churches, but also from the national church to help provide money for rent and medical care. So we're trying to meet all of the needs that people are experiencing in these times, and it's really a national effort.
Well, you talked about funerals, and I want to touch on that for a moment because we have spoken with other funeral directors on this show, and it's been very difficult to lay someone to rest, if you will, and allow the family to mourn in a way that they would consider something that would have been pre-pandemic. How are you doing it now?
So what Pastor Arias is doing is still gathering people, but they're wearing protective equipment, masks, some of which we're able to provide for them, practicing safe social distancing, but gathering in a space. As we know, outside spaces are much safer. So gathering in a space. And I think what really helps in this case is that the rituals haven't changed in terms of the words that we hear and the scripture that's read that brings comfort and brings a level of what's familiar into these very strange circumstances that people can hold on to.
Reverend, what are you saying to bring comfort during this time? What can you say? It's so difficult, I imagine.
This is where faith is such a great asset to us because it's important for us to be reminded, and that's what I'm trying to do, that number one, we're not alone in this. Not only do we have God's presence, which we as Lutheran Christians understand is most powerful at times of suffering and loss, because that's where Jesus was, but we have the support and the love of one another in ways that are possible. And I just keep talking to folks about the other side and that it will come, not in our timing and not soon enough, obviously, but it will come. And we're going to work on reaching that other side and then assessing what it means to be church and what we're learning through these times. That's going to equip us for that and help us to be a more gracious, more loving, more present church to the people that we serve and the communities that we're in.
It's very much a test of faith, especially with the Hispanic community being hit so very hard. What about those who are hospitalized or those who have lost members of their family? What initiatives are being done for you to assist them?
So within the limitations that we experience, our pastors are still remotely visiting members, and hospital staff, nursing staff have been absolutely wonderful in terms of holding up cell phones, or if the person's able to have their own, pastors are having conversation, bringing peace, praying for parishioners over their cell phones or over FaceTime in order to be present to them and to bring them the comfort of the faith.
It's a new reality for sure. All right, Reverend Paul Egnsteiner, thank you so much for all that you're doing for the Hispanic community and all that you're doing to help bring some hope and faith to those who really are relying on it right now. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for letting me share the story.
Absolutely. Stay safe.